Hey, everybody, all my awesome listeners on the Frequency Real Radio station. So, today I'm coming to you because I want to talk about the Surviving Compton, the Michel'le and Dr. Dre story, or Suge Knight, her Michel'le's story, basically. I don't want to call it anybody else's story, but Michel'le, she's the one that told it, just like Dr. Dre and those guys told their story in Straight Outta Compton. So I've been listening to a few videos. You know, everybody has been doing, everybody in the YouTube community has been doing reviews on this and saying what they think and their perspective, and I found it interesting. And you know, I've listened to the videos and things. Like I tell you guys, I have two pages, one personal page and the Frequency Real Radio page. And one of the astrologers, I really like the way she interprets astrological charts. She did a review, and usually, you know, when you hear people review things, you may not always agree with everything they say, but for the most part, I feel like she's pretty spot on. But when she did this review on Dre and Michel'le, I felt there were a few things that I kind of feel intuitively through their astrological signs and through watching the movies and everything like that I feel were kind of missed in some of the reviews I've been watching. In a particular video, the kind of the debate or the back and forth with the astrological review was if Dre, coming from a perspective, because this person, they do astrological charts, they're reading it from an astrological view. Now, I'm not going to come from an astrological view as far as digging into their chart to see the aspects and all of that, because you know, if you watch my channel, you know, intuition is everything. I mean, you see my readings. Knowing all the things that's in the chart is just adding like the factual data to what's already there, to a lot of things that are already apparent. Like, you know, in your life, you know what type of person you are, what kind of situations you get into, and the things that happen. But when you go and look at your birth chart, or you look at a transit chart or progressions or something like that, then you can pinpoint and say, oh, this is why this is happening, because this, you know, my moon and my sun are making this aspect, or Jupiter and Neptune are making this aspect, and Saturn's here in this house, and it's aspecting my son this way and everything. So it's kind of like, you know, adding the factual data to what's already apparent, what you're already going through, what can already be seen. So, but I always like, you know, astrology is my thing. So I always like going into the charts and things like that, because it's like just having proof and a backup. But the debate kind of was, I guess, because his birth time is not available, whether his actions were kind of coming out of a place of a Aquarius or a Pisces, because he is January 18th, which I suppose you could even say it's the cusp. In my book, I would say it's Aquarius. At the most, it would be the cusp. But I always find that signs towards the end or the beginning of that zodiac takes qualities and things from the sign that precedes or proceeds it, or the one that comes after it. But in my opinion, and in the video I was watching, they were coming more from a perspective of he was a Pisces. And you know, if you watch the Surviving Compton movie on Lifetime that was done by Michel'le and her team and everything like that, he was abusive and all of that stuff, which is totally true. I mean, I totally believe that. You can tell that that's not the first encounter of abuse that has been charged against Dre. You know, he was totally abusive and angry and a womanizer, a cheater, all of these kind of things. And when I heard, when it was kind of coming off, when the review, which is completely, I tell you, when I watch people's videos, everybody has an opinion. Opinions are like assholes. So I do not, and that's her astrological. Sorry, I had a phone call. So I do not negate that at all. And I really don't disagree with people's opinions. But I had commented on the video and I had just said, you know, very nice comment. I never attack or come at people or even challenge their opinion on their videos. Just like my videos, if you guys, I respond to comments. I take negativity and I take positivity. You always need an objective approach. I do not like yes men. I don't like everybody who agrees with me. I actually like when people disagree sometimes. It makes for a good debate. It makes for a good challenge, and it helps you step your game up and helps you think sometimes. So I don't know. I mean, when I put the comment, I saw it go through. I don't know if it got deleted or what, but it's totally, if you look at my comments on my page that I respond to my viewers, even some negative comments, if they say, oh, you're talking too fast or something like that, or your video's choppy or your sound's not good, go look at the way I respond. I'm the type of person that kills people with kindness. And I really respect this person. I mean, I've watched like all of their videos. And this is like the one where I'm like, well, I know a lot of Aquariuses and Pisces personally. So let me just add, my little flavor to it. And I had just commented and said, I felt like the abusive part was coming from the Aquarius in Dre. And that maybe what led or what fueled some of this abuse, or what the underlying issue was. The underlying issue per se itself, who knows, what went on in Dre's life to make him that way. But that's coming from the emotional Pisces in him. So essentially I said, I felt like it was a 50-50, because they were airing more on the side of it was Pisces. And I'm like, no, I know Aquarius. I didn't say no. I mean, this is my opinion. Hey, so you cannot say somebody else is wrong. But I was like, I really feel like it is a 50-50 with the Aquarius and the Pisces. And I just want to go into, and I know everybody's coming down on Dre, and in absolutely no way do I condone women beating in any sort of way. That is absolutely wrong. Don't stand behind women beaters. But I also want to give a fair shake on Michel'le, because she is a Sagittarius, and I'm very familiar. I've had Sagittarius friends for years. I'm a Cancer. I've had in Cancer and Sagittarius, at least the females, we get along pretty darn good. I can say out of all the signs, Sagittarius is a sign that they're very smart. I find, and I like them because we're always on an intellectual level. When the Sagittarius and myself would be at jobs, we were the two, of course, I would always do the best. That might just be me tooting my horn. No, it's facts. But, because I'm winning the competitions. But, when it came to who was smart and who knew how to do the work and who knew who were the best at the jobs, it was always the Sagittarius and myself. And Sagittarius, they can get my cynical sense of humor. Like, I don't have to explain my jokes to Sagittarius. I don't know if they're just laughing because they like to laugh and they just find Cancer humorous, because Cancer can be funny. We like jokes and we have a different sort of sense of humor. It's not your everyday around the bush sense of humor. But the Sagittarius would always get my jokes, and I would never have to explain what I mean, to a Sagittarius. So I know Sagittarius, as I've had them in my life for a long time. And I also know Pisces well, and I'm going to say Pisces and Aquarius. I have Aquarius, and we're talking male. So Dre is the male. He's February 18th. So for all, and I don't care which system of astrology you're using, because for you to overstand astrology is to overstand everything is energy. So it all is the same shit at the end of the day. Okay. So, traditionally speaking to what we're used to, he's an Aquarius. But because he's the 18th, just like another 18th, like June 18th, a Gemini, that would sort of be a Cancer cusp to me. So he falls in Aquarius, but he's on the Aquarius Pisces cusp. So I know Aquariuses have had Aquarius male family members all my life. And on top of that, I'm very familiar with Pisces. My dad was a Pisces, right on the Pisces and Aries cusp. I had Pisces friends, and then I am a Pisces rising. But to tell you that this will not be biased, it's not biased towards Pisces, because for all my life, before I even realized I had a Pisces rising, I identify with Cancer. I'm sorry, not rising. I'm Cancer rising, Cancer sun, and Pisces moon. So before I even realized Pisces was my moon, I've always identified with Cancer, and Pisces does go a lot into my emotional world. So yes, I'm Pisces too, but I don't carry the Pisces flag. I'm really just starting to carry, but I don't carry it heavy heavy enough to be biased towards Pisces. And trust me, I definitely have my notions about Pisces. Again, I have good friends that are Pisces, and at the end of the day, I'm an empath, I'm an intuit, so I'm gonna give it to you straight up, non-biased about both parties and kind of their characters that played into this whole thing that happened with Death Row and all that kind of stuff. The two record labels that Dre was involved in, the one before with Ice Cube and those guys before he went over to Ruthless Records, and then before when he went over with Suge under Death Row. And again, I am under 40. I'm under 37. So this is my culture. I was born in 80s, so this is my culture. I have followed it to the T. Dre and those guys, I was a little younger, but by the time he went to Death Row and all of that stuff, it was right around my teenage years. So of course, during that time, Dre, Snoop, Pac, those guys were everything amongst my friends and I, because we were teenagers. Those were some of the best times, high school teenagers, some of the best times of my life. So I'm going to give you a unbiased opinion about Dre and about Michel'le. So let's start with Dre. The reason why I say I feel like it's a 50-50, I really want to say a little bit more Aquarius, but I'm not. I'm going to leave it at the 50-50 because I just had to get this out for people who are really been watching this and watching these movies and just following this whole saga, which is not going to end anytime soon because she has inked more deals with Oprah Winfrey. She's going to do a book. They may do some more movies. So who knows how long she's going to run Dre through, or this story through the ringer, which she has every right to speak her piece and to tell her story because she was a part of those things going on. She was there. She knows what was going on, just like everybody else does who was in those crews. But let's start with, this is from an astrological perspective. Everything on this channel is astrology. So let's start with Dre. Dre, the reason why I say I feel like that woman beater thing, that getting aggressive with women is a Aquarius thing is because, and no offense to Aquarius. No offense to Aquarius men. Guys, this is general. Like the astrological chart, you can have other things going on. But as we all know, your sun sign is going to be the foundation. I don't care about how many Aquariuses we talk to. The foundational elements are going to be the same. So just the basic nature things that make you Aquarius, it ain't going to change no matter what's in your freaking chart. It may be to extremes. You may have a little of it. You may have a lot. But if you are born in the sign, you are going to carry that sign's foundational nature. Just the things, even undeveloped things you may not even realize and can't control and don't even realize about yourself. You're going to carry those elements. So starting with Dre, I say Aquarius is because if you know any Aquariuses, if you are familiar with any Aquariuses, then you know it does not take much. And we're going to talk about the men and the women. It does not, and this is general. Like I said, you may not display all of this. You may have other things in your chart, but obviously Dr. Dre does. And for the record, my sister is an Aquarius. And like I said, my father is a Sun Pisces, Aries cusp. So with the Aquarius, they can be bullies. Cancer, we get the same thing. And it's funny, Aquariuses can be bullies and not even realize they're bullies because sometimes they just can come on strong and they may not realize they're bullies because Aquariuses are people persons. They are nice people. A lot of Aquariuses I meet, when you know Aquarius, they are good people. They will help you out with what you need. They will be giving. And my closest, like I have 3 cousins that are big. You might as well say they're brothers. We all grew up together, but he's about 8 years older than me. He's the Aquarius, but he was raised by my parents, my grandparents, so very, very tight. We have very close-knit family, so you might as well say it's a brother. He's an Aquarius. So, and he doesn't, these aren't his traits. I'm not saying these are his things, but I'm saying they show up in the Aquarius personality. So, and I'm just going to show you, I have two close people, very close people in my life that are Aquariuses and Pisces. So a sister and a brother. So both Aquarius, father Pisces. So Aquariuses, they're nice and all of that. They will help you. They will nurture. They will love. They want to see you do good. But it don't take shit for Aquarius to get buck with you. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. My sister, I can remember to this day, me just wanting like to talk to her, and she was on the phone and she hummed a phone at me and hit me in my knee, and my knee is probably has been messed up to this day. Now hear what I'm saying. My sister is 10 years older than me. This happened when I was under 9. So if I was under 9, I want to say I had to be about 6 or 7, which means she had to be 16 or 17. She threw. Now, guys, even if I'm talking about a cordless phone from nowadays, I'm talking about the old joint where you got the base and you dial the numbers, and then you got a cord connected to the other heavy ass phone piece that you put to your ear, and when you hang it up, it's like one big phone joint. She threw the whole fucking phone at me and hit me with it and didn't give a shit. Didn't care. And that is not the only thing. And matter of fact, I might be a bully to this day because of it. Just joking. No, Cancer has it in them not to really be a bully, but you just not going to overwalk a Cancer. You're not going to do it. But Cancer ain't going to go off with you like that. I literally have to be put, and I'm a double Cancer. I will give you all of the chances in the world. But when you push me, it's not like that Aquarius is going off. I'm coming for your life. Like I'm not throwing no phone at you. I don't want you to live after this fight. So, those are Cancers operating from negative energy. I've never had to get like that with somebody. But I have gotten so frustrated, I just had to haul off and hit people. And most of the time it was guys. So that just goes to show you, like, when we're mad, we're mad. But getting back to this Aquarius thing. So, and that's her. Now, my Aquarius boy cousin, his favorite thing to do was to make me and my other 2 brothers fight. All my life, that's probably where I got my fighting skills from, because I used to always fight. I'm like, every time we went to my grandmother's house, that was the thing. It was a WWE match, because my 2 cousins / brothers are twins and they're a year older than me, but I'm tall. I was always bigger than them. So every time we went to my grandmother's house, it was a WWE match. And I used to fight them and beat them up by myself. And the Aquarius love this. Like, I don't think he got off on anything else. And beyond that, so that's the fights we used to have. But then he used to fuck my 2 brothers up. I'm like, I'm serious. Like, and it would be so funny. And my brothers loved it. But I mean, they really got hurt sometimes. And they are strong. Guys, if you know an Aquarius male, and the women too, I mean, what I'm saying, it doesn't take much for them to go off, and that's what Dre was in this movie. It didn't take from how Michel'le made it seem to appear. I believe it was multiple times. He probably hit her too many times to count. But what you can tell from the movie is it didn't take him. That was his nature. The abuse was his nature. And that seems like an Aquarius to me. Very mental sign, but repressed emotions is what I get with Aquarius. So it takes them nothing to go off. I have seen Aquariuses go off, and they will fight and they will bully, and the men will hit the women. Okay, so we just gonna say that the men will hit the women. Any sign male can hit a woman, but I'm saying Aquarius, I've seen it more so to where it's an issue, you know what I mean? Or they're doing it on a frequent basis, and it probably doesn't. All it probably takes is just for you to do something they don't like, or for you to get in an argument, because Aquarius can be violent overall. You know what I mean? I know we had this whole mutable sign violence and everything like that, but straight off the top, Aquariuses can like to fight. They will get with you, and they can be violent. Again, not all. Maybe you're a more not so much of a dominant Aquarius. Maybe you are a more, I don't know the word, docile Aquarius. But a lot of Aquariuses I've seen, that can happen. I mean, they can even get like ready to fight their mother. I've seen it. And then so that's what I get from Dre, and I get that. What fueled it is the emotions, because he may be on the cusp. He is on the cusp of the Pisces. What fuels that, he does not know how to deal with his emotions. And that's where the Pisces may come in. It may give him an emotional nature. And then the Aquarius is going to come up and beat you down instead of dealing with those emotions. Because what I see from Pisces, what I know of a Pisces, I I haven't heard, not to say it doesn't happen, because we all know when Pisces goes crazy, Pisces goes crazy. But I don't always hear of a lot of Pisces abusing women. Not that I've heard of everything. I mean, it's millions and billions of people in this world, but intuitively, that just doesn't come off strong to me. Pisces, very emotional, and Pisces can snap. You know what I mean? And now a Pisces woman, yeah, I could see a Pisces woman hauling off and hitting you. Like if you think back to the Chris Brown and Rihanna situations. I could see that no way does any woman deserve to be beaten, but I could see that Rihanna, you know, Pisces don't, it's a water sign. Water signs only gonna take so much of your shit, and emotions do lead to actions. That's one thing about water signs. Whether they hit you or not, they're gonna find an action to take it out on you. So things like burning your clothes, bleaching, I've done it. Not burn, bleach, but burning your clothes, bleaching clothes, cutting your clothes. Water signs, and then you know Scorpio will just take revenge on your ass any way they can. But Pisces and Cancer is more so like a push me, push me, push me, and then I'm going to do something. And the women may get a little physical with the men, but how it comes off with Pisces women to me is they know, or they don't expect that man to hit them back, or they don't expect that man to really go off on them. So they may do things because, you know, they're so upset and emotional, and they don't expect that backlash. But what I see with Pisces men, and this is speaking to if Dre was a Pisces, why I don't think a lot of that fight comes from the Pisces. If you know Pisces, Pisces doesn't want to fight. They're not, unless they're just a charged up, really fucked up emotional Pisces, they are not quick to fight. You kind of have to push them. They'll talk a lot of shit. They'll act big and bad. But Pisces is not the one that's quick to put their hands on you. But I have seen, but let me distinguish. I feel like Pisces men, now, if all of that's true about Dre, you know, a man that will hit a woman but not step to men, that's a straight bitch. And it seems like that's the word on the street about Dre. One second, I'm thirsty. It seems like that's the word on the street about Dre. So that does not sound, maybe that's a 50-50 with both, because Aquariuses will fight guys, but I think they do have more of a tendency to maybe to hit a woman because they're so nice. They have this perception. Everybody loves the Aquarius, so, and they bury those emotions. So things may come out at home that you do not see, or you do not assume of an Aquarius on front street. But anybody who knows astrology, no matter how deep you go into the charts, can attest to a air of violence with shadow side Aquarius. It's one who's operating primarily from the shadow side. Because when you're elevated and your vibration is high, guys, no matter if this is in your nature or not, you won't do it. You know how to control it. You know how to take other measures to get yourself where you need to be. So, one second. Water made me belch. So, why I'd say I don't think it's Pisces, because most Pisces I know, first of all, are pretty peaceful. They don't even want to take it there. And I think that's water signs in general. Even Scorpio don't want to be nice and want to be friendly, but they just don't take them long. Once you cross them, you cross them. But Pisces, they don't want to fight off top. So I really don't see a heavy general woman abuser vibe coming from a Pisces. With a Pisces, you probably really have to be pushed. But what I have seen is Pisces having no problem getting with other men like that. That's why it really doesn't ring for Dre. Like, I know Pisces that won't really get, hit on their girls or get with their girls like that, but they will go out and fight a dude in 2.2, or they will stand up for their woman if it comes to a man in 2.2. So I really didn't get a lot of Pisces from Dre, but I could see the character that she's portraying of him being true, with all of that emotion of being on the cusp from Pisces, and all of it being unresolved, and not knowing how to deal with it, and then having that Aquarius anger. I want to make this under 30 minutes. So now let's move on, because people have reviewed the hell out of this. But some of the astrological reviews, I feel like could have lacked a little. So then let's go. And then a lot of times I don't think people are really looking at Michel'le and the part she played either. So Although, like I said, no one deserves to be treated like that. But one thing is true. If you let things happen to yourself, they're going to happen. Because if a person doesn't care about you, they're going to do whatever they want to do, and they're going to do whatever you let them do. So let's talk about the Sagittarius and Michel'le. So the Sagittarius and Michel'le. Sagittarius. What I will say about Sagittarius is Sagittariuses and the ones I have known, and I'm not saying this is every single one, the ones who operate from the shadow side, Sagittariuses I've known personally, they have no problem hopping from man to man because Sagittarius women need dick. I really don't know any other way to say that. I really don't know. It's a fire sign. It is a fire sign. So that should tell you right there. Highly passionate, burns out in 2.2 seconds for a lot of them, but they like the sex. So, for the act of doing it, for the thrill, for the rush, for the activity of it all. Fire signs are high activity signs. They're the do sign. You know what I mean? The airs are the mentals, the earths are the grounded. I also view the earths as doers because they are doers as well. Fire is action and water is emotion and spirituality and things of that nature. Intuitiveness, let's say. Let's not even say spirituality, because you can be intuitive and all of that and not connected to spirituality, I suppose. So then that's where you're going to come from with the water. But Sagittarius is a fire sign. The Sagittariuses I have known, they will hop from man to man just to have sex, just to be copulating with somebody, just to be in the bed with somebody. And they have no qualms about, like, I'm not the type of female, if I see a guy, I'm not going to be like, come on to him. I'm not going to say, like, you know how, lady, you have your flirt tactics where you can give off signals where you can let that person know you want them. But a Sagittarius will be bold, like, I want your fine ass. That's something a Sagittarius would say without really knowing this person. A Sagittarius will do that and you'll be sitting there like, but that guy is probably a dog and no good. Sagittarius don't give a damn. They want to get him in bed. That and she showed you that a lot just in her in the film, just by the fact of going from Dre to Suge. I'm sure there were other people around she could have went to. Even though Suge treated her nice, he ended up using her as well. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Suge is an Aries. And anybody who knows an Aries operating on the shadow side, great people, they will spend on you. They will splurge on you. They will treat you good. But Aries has a purpose. They got to get to where they're going. And Aries don't have no problem using your credit, your name, and your money to do it. Now, I'm not saying Aries ain't going to do it to themselves. They are, but they always looking for that next come up, that next adventure. Aries is always trying to achieve, very entrepreneurial. So, it's a thing where I bet Michel'le, was very much so into the sex and into things like that. And it kind of comes off because it seems like the physical things dominated her intellectual ability. You know what I mean? To reason and to really see what was going on. And also a Sagittarius, they can come off sometimes as know-it-alls, knowing so much that they don't really have the common sense or know much at all, knowing so much, but getting themselves into these really messed up situations. Not being able to take the same advice that they give you is a Sagittarius. So they can tell you things about your life and what you need to do, but when you look at them, it's like, for a shadow side of Sagittarius, it's like, but you do the absolute opposite. You know what I mean? So if you're talking about shadow side Sagittarius, you're talking about somebody that has no problem messing with somebody that has a girlfriend. I've seen it. I've had Sagittarius friends that have done it. Now, personally, I'm the type of person, not to toot my horn, and if I wasn't this type of person, I would say it, because we all make mistakes, and every saint is a sinner. I am personally the type of person, if I know you have a girlfriend or a wife, you're off the books for me. And I mean, I'm straight up about that. I have had a dead ass serious attraction to somebody that I had to really fight it off because they were married. And that's just how I am as a person. But a Sagittarius, oh, they will be your side chick. They will be 40 and mess with somebody that's 20. You know what I mean? Like, they will do that. And it's like, but you know that's not right, Sag, and you wouldn't really give anybody else that advice, you know? So that's just a little bit about dark side Sagittarius. And also, the one more thing I'll say about dark side Sagittarius, which I feel like plays into Michel'le and this picture, is sometimes they don't think their shit stinks, and they will be sneaky and conniving in groups of friends if the attention is not on them. Again, they are a fire sign. If you guys know fire signs, and when I say the things that are kind of negative, don't be offensive. Think of them as people that operate from the shadow side of the sign more so than the positive. So if you think of your fire signs, your Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, yeah, we know they say it about Leo all the time because they're the king of the jungle. But all three signs need attention. All three signs, when they're highly operating from the shadow side, they cannot stand when they aren't the center of attention. They cannot stand if their friend, starts being friends with someone else and kind of leaves the Sagittarius out. Or maybe didn't even leave the Sagittarius out, but maybe the Sagittarius happened to not be around one day and you did something with a mutual friend. It's just like, oh, it's the worst thing in the world because that Sagittarius owns you. You know what I mean? I have had some of the worst female stalkers that were Sagittarius. And the last one I just had to say, ma'am, I didn't know I was gay because it surely feels like I'm in a lesbian relationship. Nothing wrong with that if that's what you like. And it was like I genuinely like Sagittariuses. We joke. I have a good time with them. But this person was like 20 years my senior, and some of the things I did, they just could not do. But this also happened to me with another Sagittarius. So it's not just one. These are several experiences in my life. And I really had to tell a Sagittarius, look, you got the wrong person. I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do, and I really don't care how you feel about it. You don't want to be my friend? Skate. Skate, bitch. Skate. Because I'm going to do this and you going to stay mad. And I had only known this person, guys. It was less than 6 months. And I kind of regretted I had the feeling about them. And that's the thing with us Cancer empaths. I had the feeling about them. When you hear a lot of people say Cancer don't have common sense, but they do. It's so true. Because we'll know, but we will do the shit anyway. Working on it, guys. So, because I already knew the person wasn't for me, but they kind of badgered their way into my circle. And when you do that, a Cancer just doesn't have the heart to turn you away. Sometimes we just don't have the heart to say, look, we really not feeling you. If you come off pretty good and we ain't seen no shady stuff, even if we got that feeling about you, we'll probably still fuck with you anyway, which is to the Cancer's detriment, because it was truly to my detriment and it brought problems that, was so unnecessary and pointless. So, this is true shit, true story. I had to tell a Sagittarius, like, it's not all about you. You don't control anything but you, and you barely control that. So you damn sure can't come over here and even attempt to control me. So a Sagittarius is, they can do, and what the Sagittarius turned around and did was she tried to make me jealous by buddying other people, but it didn't work because I didn't give a shit. And I was like really thinking, oh my God, I'm so happy. I hope she finds some other friends so I can get off the hook. But it made it worse because I didn't get upset. So anyway, Cancers can be pretty mean. So it got to a point where I just really had to get downright and, just let her know the deal. But I'm saying that to say, sorry, I got a phone call. They will also be sneaky. So like how Michel'le went from Dre to Suge. I don't care how nice Suge was. I don't care how close or if he was always around. You have to allow something like that to happen. And everybody knows. Like I said, I came up in that generation through the whole Tupac, through when Dre was with Tupac, when Tupac split from Dre, when both of those guys went to death row, when Dre left death row for Aftermath, and the whole beef went on between Suge Pac against Dre. For Michel'le to do that just shows how seedy that character can be, and that shadow side Sagittarius can be, because they will surely go behind your friends. They will cutthroat friends and all of that, because at the end of the day, it's about the Sagittarius. It's about them getting their aims met, them